What's up, everybody? It's Chuck Creekmur here at allhiphop.com, and we are here with Elle Varner. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm glad to have you here finally.
Yes.
We got, what's the word? Chopped it up for a minute in Houston when you played Houston at the Texas Black Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first time seeing you live.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got to see your range though. Like, I hadn't seen all the talents that you had to offer. It was great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So first of all, let's talk about your new album, ElleVation. It's your first independent outing. Talk about the differences. Talk about your label. It took you a while to come back out with a new album.
I was living my life. I was creating. I've been all over the country working with different artists throughout the last couple years. Mac, rest in peace. Different producers in LA. It was the first time I got to really craft my sound as an independent. I'm running the show. It's my session. And that was really cool. My dad wasn't there. My dad's great. He's one of the best producers alive. But it was important for me to start to really just with no one in my ear or no one having input, see what was gonna come out of me. And so we worked a lot. And this is just a fraction of what came through from those sessions. I'm really excited. I mean, it's only gonna go up.
It was 9 songs. I was like a little.
It's an EP, actually.
Okay.
That's the thing. So the album is even like crazier.
Okay.
And more dynamic in terms of like just different sounds and different approaches that you've never seen me do. There's Autotune on one song.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I got that question, so we have to talk about that.
Okay.
Well, Autotune. I was like gonna ask you
Mhm.
later down on the other side of this page
Sorry.
what you thought about Autotune and people that use it. I didn't hear that particular song, so.
Well, no, it's not. It's on the album that's
Okay.
gonna come out.
Okay.
See, you knew.
But see, you made it a point to say, I have Autotune, like.
Well, because at first I knew it was like kind of ridiculous. Like, I've always been the type of artist that goes in the studio and if an engineer puts Autotune, I would look at him like, how dare you disrespect? No, but like, it was a matter of having fun and just trying things and not being stuck in, well, this is my way and this is what I do and how I do it. The song is even a stretch for me. It's called Pull the Strings. And I pull the strings. I'm fresh to death, no stretch limousine. When I pull up, it look like I might have seen. I pull the strings. It's like, it's kind of talking that, can I say shit?
Yeah.
Oh, it's talking that shit.
Right.
I gotta ask, nowadays. But still in a fun way, and I'm still singing, but just.
What does that mean? Pull the string.
I pull the strings, like.
Oh, like a
when
boss.
Yeah, like a boss.
Yeah, like the Godfather.
The first lyric has been a boss all my life.
Yeah.
Talk that shit, bitch. I might.
Right.
Yeah, I said it. So, they can't see me in the booth. It's a lie on the truth. Now, of course, there's a million fantastic, amazing singers. It's just a lyric, and rappers do it all the time. So yeah. But when I look back, like from getting Cole on my first single, which, like, I did that, and from even my first deal or just things that I always seem to pop out. I have these relationships and I'm like, I don't know, I just hit someone. So yeah, I'm a boss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You a boss. Well,
I am.
Man, you jumping the gun on all my questions.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. So let me think on that. All right. So let's talk about being a boss, independent label wise. How is that? I mean, I know from running and owning all hip hop, it's a tough, it's really hard.
Yeah. It is very challenging, I'll say. It's challenging, and I've already gotten past the point of like the frustrations that I experienced initially. I said to myself, like, look at this as an opportunity to establish yourself as a businesswoman, to establish yourself as a label. I've learned so much. I'm on so many emails I don't want to be on and text messages, and I'm like, I just want to sing and write. Leave me alone. But this is what it takes. This is what it takes to really be on that mogul level of a Jay-Z or Beyonce or Rihanna, you know?
How competitive are you? You mentioned competition in hip hop and Beyonce. I know she's extremely competitive. I see you in a little bit of a different light. Not Beyonce per se, but just in general. From a competition standpoint, how competitive are you?
That's a great question. I really don't think I'm very competitive. If anything, I compete with myself, and maybe that's, one of my weaknesses, but I can't turn something that is so sacred and precious to me into a competition.
Right.
And God willing, the energy that I put into it will cross paths with the charts I want to be on and the awards I want to win. But really, like, from day one, it's always been about the music, and everything else has come after.
So you didn't feel a way when Beyonce was like, bow down?
No, of course not. Oh, bow down in a heartbeat.
Oh, shoot.
Hell
Okay,
no.
okay. I saw a lot of people caught feelings, serious feelings.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
There's Beyonce's work ethic and her contribution to music is so, I can't think of the fancy word I want to use, but astounding, maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, no.
It's funny. I didn't originally know you were from New York.
I'm
just
from
assumed.
LA.
Huh?
I'm from LA.
You're from LA,
Yeah.
and you moved here.
Yeah.
Oh, I had it in reverse. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I
Everyone
apologize.
does. I've become a New Yorker, so it's
So
fine.
you've been in New York for how long?
About 12 years.
Okay. So why'd you come here? Everyone's going to LA.
I came here for NYU, and then I
okay.
stayed when I finished.
Oh, cool. I got a niece going to NYU this fall.
Nice.
Yeah. She's going to the Tisch School of film, filmmaking. Yeah,
That's
art.
Awesome.
It's art. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're so proud. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a great school.
It is.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you're in New York now. All right. So, has New York rubbed off on you at all?
What do you mean?
I don't know. The influence, the city,
Absolutely.
Yeah. How so?
I remember being so green when I got here. Like, LA has its own kind of like unwritten rules. It's about respect. It's about, we have our own sound, we have our own foods, we have our own thing, but we are very laid back. Right. And when I got to New York, it was a reality check. The first time I went to this clothing store, and I was like, "Hi, miss," da da da, and she was like, "What?" And I was like, oh my God. Right. And even when I go back to LA now, when people are so nice and polite, it's always a shock to me. So, because I'm used to New York. I'm used to that attitude, that hustle, that grind.
Yeah, that's crazy. We were talking about the other day, there was a guy, he was like about to commit suicide. And the New Yorkers were like, hurry up, like jump.
Oh my
like,
God.
It was so crazy. I've been here a long time, and I was shocked to see that. They were like, we got somewhere to go. If you're going to jump. And it was really crazy. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted attention or something. 'Cause I doubt he jumped, but anyway. Yeah,
It's
it was
awful.
weird. So you mentioned J. Cole earlier.
Mhm.
Not a New Yorker, but he did go to school here.
Mhm.
Um, you've worked with Wale, and you
Mhm.
have also Rhapsody on this
Mhm.
current project.
Mhm.
How was it working with them?
Just two of the best in the game, on a lyrical level, delivery, longevity. I mean, I'm just so excited to be working with two of the best.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you pay any attention to these lists, like top 50? You know, there's top 50 rappers, then it turned into top 50.
Yeah, I said, where's Queen Latifah, MC Light, Lil Kim,
Yeah,
you know,
Rhapsody. Yeah.
Rhapsody. I didn't see enough females on there, but I think it's kind of silly because we're at a time now where things are so displaced. There is no mainstream. There is no core. Like when I was a kid and I would watch MTV, what was the show? I don't even remember.
What, Yo MTV Raps?
No, not
Cribs?
No, the main TRL.
Oh, TRL, my fault.
Like it would go from like NDRE to Blink 182 to Britney Spears to Lauryn Hill and Aaliyah. Like it was all one collective. This is what people were listening to.
Right.
And it was what's the word?
Eclectic?
Eclectic.
Yeah.
And now you just have all these I'll be sometimes I'm on Instagram and I'll find someone I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And they'll have like 30 million followers. And I'm
Right.
like, oh my God.
Yeah, imagine having a cover
Jesus.
like we do. We have to actually, we're supposed to be on top of this stuff.
Yeah.
And we want to get to know all these new artists. And then all of a sudden, like you said, they got 10 million followers. And you're like the 10 millionth and one person to discover them. It's like too late.
Listen, shout out to you. Strength, I give you the strength.
That's why I gotta get some younger people in this organization that care about stuff, because I'm jaded. I only talk to people, like yourself.
Thank you.
On one of your songs, well, you have two songs. You have "Pour It Up" and you have "Refill." They both have a little.
Pour me.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry.
Me. It's okay. I get that a lot.
What? Say it again.
Pour me.
Pour me. Why did I say pour up?
It's like pour me. And then
but it's P-O-U-R.
I know. Pour me one more.
Oh. Okay. Well, they have drinking themes. So, what kind of drunk are you?
What do you mean? Like what color liquor? Like
no, like when you get twisted. Do you? I mean, I'm assuming
I'm standing on the table. I am pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty.
So you're more fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because, some people get angry. Some people get depressed.
Oh, no. I'm a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I just wanted to know that because, well, actually, that was my lead-in.
But refill is not about drinking.
I know. I said themed.
Right.
It evokes.
Yeah.
I know it's about a person. I know.
Okay.
What do you think about the overall state of R&B? Like overall, it's like for example, I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I was like, I'm not really into R&B, and then I started telling who I was into, and they were like, oh, no, that's not R&B, that's soul, and I was like, like Jill Scott, Erica Badu, Stevie Wonder, even going farther back, Prince, stuff like that. They were like, no, that's not R&B, that's soul music. And I was like, really? And I'm thinking about your album and your music, and I'm like, well, where does Elle fit into this? To me, it's classic R&B.
Thank you.
That's what I would call it, but I'm not so sure what others would classify it as.
I realized going into this new project that my choices as an artist and my uniqueness always kind of keeps me in that, well, what is it? Is it what is this thing? You know what I mean? Because I play the guitar and I've got the acoustic songs and the R&B songs. So what I'll say is that I've had love affairs with a few different genres. Very deep love affair with jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Very deep love affair with classic traditional R&B. You know, when I was a kid, my dad would be like, write a song like Faith. Write a song like Mary. Write a song like, you know, Kelly Price. And that's what I was trying to do, mentally trying to understand, okay, what's the flow of this? What's the theme of this?
Right.
How is the, you know, how does the hook go from the verse? And then I discovered Joni Mitchell and Bob Dylan and folk music. And then I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
You mean I could just tell a story over these couple of chords? And then I love my Celine Dion, my dramatic power ballads, and Whitney. And so it's like I'm just a product of all these different genres of music that I've fallen in love with.
What do you think about, you know, the state of R&B? I've maintained it's not as powerful as it used to be, but I will say there are. I mean, I've learned this through my daughter, that there are like so many talented people. She listens
so
to
many talented people. I think it's tough for the ones that want to remain traditional, if you will, because in some ways it feels like people have kind of moved on from that. And there's not a lot of music in these tracks. It's not, you know, the song with the intro, just like, you know it as soon as you hear it.
Right.
And you could just listen to that for 30 seconds before the song even comes on.
Right.
So it's a lot of loops. It's a lot of samples.
I hate hearing R&B sampling old R&B or even hip hop for that matter. I'm just like, come on, like, are we serious? Like, I was alive when the first one came out.
Right.
Why are we sampling it already? Like, this is what we're doing.
I remember, I think I was in high school, and I Like the Way You Move, the Outkast song. I remember being the only one who knew that it was an Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Right.
Like,
Yo,
that just
that's
says
crazy.
a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
What are your thoughts on hip hop? I also controversially.
But one thing I will say really quick before we go on there, I said this just on the way in the car. There was a generation before mine, and I'm on the cusp of it, where people went to buy records.
Yeah.
They cared about this music. They cared about this artist. Well, you can download something in 0.5 seconds, have as much of it as you want. Does it still have that same value? Not really.
Yeah.
You know?
True. Yeah. I mean, anything you spend your money on, you're going to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, when I listen to albums now, streaming-wise, I'm pretty happy if I get 2 songs I like that I can play over and over. I don't care if the whole album isn't good, because what's the big deal? You know?
There's a couple that stick out to me. Khalid. I love his songwriting and his music. Lucky Day. Ari Lennox, who's really got that soul. That soul unlocked. This girl, Baby Rose. Her voice is unreal. Oh my God. And her songwriting is just so good.
Wow.
Her.
Yeah.
You know. So there are some people. Black. Always a huge fan of his songwriting. I don't know if those are like my top at the moment.
Okay. What about your top 5? Let's get your list.
Top 5 what?
DOA singers.
Oh.
Or AKA your top 5 influences. Is that the same?
Aretha Franklin, Ella Fitzgerald, Etta James. Stevie. And damn, that's tough. I don't know. Sade.
That's a good list.
Helen. Yeah.
Nice. Here's a question.
Okay.
Did hip hop ruin R&B?
Maybe pop did. I don't know.
Pop? Hip hop?
No, pop. Like
pop
when R&B started departing into pop.
Right. Oh, okay.
No, I don't think hip hop. Well, I don't think there's enough hip hop R&B. I don't think, but hip hop is different. Hip hop is in rap is kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, rap can be over anything, but hip hop is like a feeling and a movement, you know.
Hip hop has changed the landscape. We have to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed the landscape of everything, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that if you're of an age, a certain age like myself, used to make a slow jam tape for the ladies. Now it's kind of hard to do that. You can't, I guess it's somewhere out there, but it's a little harder now.
Right. Yeah, because people don't want to be vulnerable, and they don't want to take the time to say something meaningful. My mom kind of, I just always hear her in the back of my head. Like, she would never let me say certain things. And now I understand why, on a song. You could say what you want to say without saying that literal thing.
Right.
And so that's always been my approach. I really, really like YBN Cordae.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you can
super
tell
talented.
that he's studied.
Yeah.
And he has a great, great spirit. I met him. He's wonderful.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of parents, also, one thing I think that stopped me from being an artist or a hip hop artist was the fact that you can't say certain things and then go to the cookout or home and be like, yo, that song, you said all this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work for you? Like, a lot of your songs are sensual. A lot of them are, sexual. They have double entendres even, which I actually like. It's more creative. But what's your approach in general?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've worked with my dad for a long time, and a long time ago, it was like a quick conversation. He was like, don't worry about me. Like, say what you gotta say.
Yeah.
He never tried to, like, stop me or have this uncomfortable thing. It was just like, listen. But for me, I just prefer to say it without saying it.
Yeah, right. That's dope. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't see you in the blogs. I don't see you on various gossip sites or anything like that. What's up with that? Like, I'm like, not, that seems to be the wave, though. People want to be out there like that, or they want to date somebody that's going to get them a headline or, a day of press. What's your deal with that? How do you feel about it?
I'm an artist. If you catch me if I make it to a blog, I make it. But I could have gone in a lot of different directions, especially over the last 7 years. I got a lot of tea. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
It's real for me. You know what I mean? I don't want to tarnish what I do personally with with a certain kind of what's the word, narrative.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty dope. I mean, I've made it through almost 10 years pretty unscathed for the most part.
That's what's up. What do you think about the would you ever do a reality show?
I've thought about it recently. I think it would be interesting to show people what my life is like as an independent artist, and I think people would tune in and watch. Yeah.
Now, would this be a Love and Hip Hop, or would this just be you?
No, this would just be me.
Okay.
This would just be me. Elle's World.
Elle's World. All right. Now, talk about the instruments you play. I saw you in Houston, and I was like, oh, we went acoustic on them.
Yeah.
And you engaged with the crowd very well. I mean, this is a black crowd. Like this, you know how that can be.
Right.
So we're not talking about, we're talking about Houston.
Yeah.
Downtown. So they were very into it, and I had a great day because around my people,
Right.
But musically, you have a great range as well. Like,
thank you.
What do you prefer? Like, do you prefer playing acoustic, or incorporating that for all audiences? Because some people will tuck that away in Houston.
Right,
They'll be
right.
like, yeah, I'm not going to do that this time.
At this point, I really do what I want to do. I mean, I've done it all. I've done what the label wants, and I've done what this one wants, and that one. For me, it's about expressing myself each time. And every time I do, I feel more connected to my purpose and that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah. How was it winning a Grammy?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, now I got to win one for myself. You know, that was with Chance.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So when's this new album coming?
Early next year, probably.
Early next year?
Yeah.
Why? You look, why that face?
No, I'm just thinking, I'm like, realistically, probably early next year. I want to give this a little time.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like, again, people go through stuff so quickly.
Yeah.
But I want to let this marinate.
Do you like this era?
What?
I mean, I like it, but I also liked when, you know, it was curated and given to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, when I was in high school, we would all watch Yo MTV Raps.
Right.
And it was, you know, everybody watched the same thing. And then we went to the party and we all knew the same words. Like,
right.
I missed that a little bit. Like, part of me is like, man, I wish we all loved, you know, Sade, or I wish we all loved Wu-Tang or Snoop and Dre. You know what I mean? Now, we don't agree on anything. Like, that's the big deal with this top 50 list. Like, he had Joe Budden on there, and everybody was like, what? Like, Joe's my guy. Like, but maybe if, I don't know. I guess that has nothing to do with anything. But my point is streaming, everybody's in their headphones. Everybody's no one's watching TV. There's no gatekeeping. And gatekeeping's a bad thing most times. But now it feels almost like a good thing.
I agree. I don't feel like I'm being too conservative, but I think that, one, we have Donald Trump as a president. Someone, I mean, yeah, he's done other things, but he's a reality star.
Yeah.
Which still to this day shocks me. We have climate change, which is very, very real. Yeah. There's nowhere to put trash. Like,
right.
We just consume. We don't respect this planet. Right. We don't respect people, other people, and it catches up to every society, every what's the word? Nation. But you know what I'm talking about? Rome, and it catches up at some point, and it feels like we might be catching up to our greed and our consumption and capitalism. And with music, it's like, as soon as you said that, we don't go to parties and listen to the same songs. There are 90s parties. There are 2000s parties. There's no 2010s parties.
Right.
Like, kind of after that, it's like there aren't songs that people are gonna know. They have to know. And I hope that changes, but I'm not sure. There's a million artists these days. It's not as
precious, not
special.
It's
not as precious as it used to be. And that's real. That's not even hating. That's just
that's real.
That's real.
Yeah.
Yo, and it's happening across so many different industries. Films. I was thinking about it. I'm like, Get Out and This Is Us. Two of the biggest films of the last 5-10 years, because they're original.
Right.
You know, everything is a remake. Everything is like a watered down story that's already been told. A lot of it is.
Yeah, right.
And that's kind of sad.
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, I'm glad you're a real original. That's truly appreciated. And I know that path may be harder and you know, but it's well worth it. You know,
it is.
And I know it'll work out. I mean, it's working out.
It is.
It's working out. I don't mean to suggest it's not, but I mean it's a harder path. It's a tougher path.
I'm out, y'all.
Nah. Never that. We got your back. Trust me. Well, any final words you want to say to people, or impart any wisdom, perhaps?
You wouldn't listen anyway. No.
Oh, stop.
No, I mean, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. I don't know.
What about that young girl or boy even who is trying to be a musician or, play an instrument for goodness sake, which is pretty rare now.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell that person? It is rare. People only want to get on beat machines and do YouTube videos and stuff.
Oh my God, I know. It's crazy.
Seriously.
You only have one life, and you have to carve out, if you want to, something. You have to do the work of carving something out in this life for yourself. If you know it, you feel that spark.
Mm-hmm.
Follow that spark. There will be no's. There will be challenges. It'll look like this is never going to happen. It's not possible. And that's the test. That's when you know. If you feel that way, then know that you're like right on the other side of doing something great. If you don't feel that way, you're not doing anything challenging, and then you're probably not doing something great.
Right.
So you got to quiet the noise. You got to put the phone down. You got to study those that came before you. Commit, practice, and you can really do anything. That's the thing. It's not that we can't do things. It's that a lot of times we don't want to do it.
Yeah. Well, the big thing is put the phone down. How you gonna commit to playing an instrument or being a master at your craft, and you're playing Words with Friends all day,
right?
or Angry Birds,
or just reading everything that other people have to say all the time.
Yeah,
like,
it's true. Yeah.
I can't digest so much information all the time. I have to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate you. We will continue to have your back.
Thank you. Yeah. This is Elle Varner, and you're watching allhiphop.com.
Continue to have your back.
Thank